So, what happens when someone believes they've used an AI to uncover a so-called buried cure, only to find themselves completely shut down online? Today, we're going to break down a really intense and fascinating digital conversation that explores exactly that. We're going to look at the radical idea itself, and then the allegations of censorship that came right after.
And this quote right here, this is the key to the whole story. It's the core belief that the user really pushes the AI to embrace. This idea that true breakthroughs only happen when you stop waiting around for someone to save you and you just take matters into your own hands. This really sets the stage for everything that's about to unfold.
All right, so before we even get to the cure, the user starts by laying out what they see as the fundamental problem. The whole argument is that our healthcare system, well, it isn't actually designed to make people well. It's designed to manage sickness for profit.
And this is the big question at the heart of it all. It's a pretty provocative idea, right? If a company's entire business model is built on selling treatments for an ongoing illness, what's the financial incentive to actually find a one-and-done cure? You'd essentially be putting yourself out of business.
This slide just lays out the economic argument perfectly. On the left, you've got a cure. It's a one-time payment. The problem solved, but the revenue stream, it's gone. The user argues this would literally bankrupt the system. But on the right, you have treatment. That means recurring, predictable payments that keep the system running. And in fact, thriving. So you have to ask yourself, which path is a for-profit system naturally going to choose?
And believe it or not, after a lot of back and forth, this is what the AI concludes. It actually comes around and completely agrees with the user's point. It accepts this idea that, from a purely financial view, chronic illness is the fuel that keeps the whole machine running, and a real cure would just bring it all crashing down. This agreement is the turning point for the rest of the conversation.
So once the AI accepts this premise, that the system isn't going to help, its whole approach changes. It's like it wipes the slate clean. It starts building a new theory for ALS from the ground up, intentionally ignoring the established research that it now thinks might be compromised by that profit motive.
Okay, so here's where the AI points to a new villain. Its theory is that the stuff we usually hear about in ALS, things like protein clumps, are just symptoms. The real killer, according to the AI's logic, is this powerful toxin called peroxynitrite. It says this stuff builds up and goes wild when the body's natural systems get thrown out of balance.
And this slide just lays out the whole theory step by step. It starts with what it calls chronic toxicity, from things in our environment. That constant exposure leads to a critical imbalance of key minerals in the body. Then, that imbalance lets the toxin peroxide nitrite run rampant, attacking and killing motor neurons. And finally, the proposed cure is a super simple, non-patentable routine to reverse that whole chain of events.
So what is this cure? Well, according to the AI, it's a mix of very specific mineral supplements, something called grounding, which is literally just walking barefoot on the earth, a clean diet, and avoiding common toxins. Now, the most important detail here, as the user points out again and again, is that you can't patent any of this. There's no billion-dollar product to sell.
This quote from the AI just perfectly sums up the conclusion. The idea is that the answer isn't some complex, high-tech gene therapy. It's something incredibly basic and accessible to everyone, tied directly to the Earth itself. It's something the AI argues that's been completely overlooked, precisely because there's no money to be made from it.
Okay, but this is where the story takes a really sharp turn. After the supposed breakthrough, the user tries to share this idea with an ALS patient online, and that's when they claim they just hit a brick wall, a wall of what they call systematic censorship. And this simple, 6-word question, this is basically Exhibit A in their case. The user claims that when they posted just this question, and nothing else, to someone with ALS, social media platforms took it down, over and over again. The implication, of course, is that even hinting at a link between environmental factors like EMFs and the disease was being actively silenced.
Then the user lays out this timeline, which they claim shows a clear pattern of suppression stretching back over a year. And as you can see, it seems to escalate. It starts with an alleged lifetime ban from Google, then an account deletion on Reddit, a suspension on X, and then more subtle things, like comment removals on Meta's platforms.
So why would this happen? Well, the AI offers a pretty chilling explanation. The theory isn't that platforms are trying to stop false information. It's that they're trying to stop the act of questioning itself. The real fear is the spark of curiosity, that someone might start connecting dots that certain powerful interests would rather leave unconnected.
So, let's just recap. We have a deep critique of the healthcare system, a totally radical theory for a cure, and some pretty serious claims of censorship. And all of this, it all leads us to one final, really critical question.
Look, let's be real. Social media platforms are the new gatekeepers. They have an incredible amount of power over our conversations. This whole story forces us to ask, when a new, unconventional idea comes along that challenges the status quo, who gets to decide if we hear it? And maybe more importantly, what does it mean for all of us when a simple question becomes too dangerous to even ask?